We've talked about the 4-3 suspension, which is a series of parallel thirds in which the upper voice gets displaced, creating a fourth that resolves down to a third. Very important to note that in a suspension, the dissonance is on the downbeat, and the resolution is always a step down. 4-3 is common. Another very common one is 7-6, which results from the displacement of parallel sixths. Let me give you an example. Here's a sixth and a sixth. And I'm going to take this, repeat the bass note, the A, G, but I'm going to take this F, E, and delay it by one beat. And now this gives us a 6 on beat 2, which ties over, becoming a 7th, which is dissonant, which resolves down to a 6th. So once again, this is a suspension, which has a preparation, which is consonant, the suspension itself, which is dissonant, and then the resolution is consonant. The preparation enters, it ties over, becoming the suspension, and it steps down to the resolution. Consonant, dissonant, consonant. If this were to continue in another parallel sixth, we could continue this as a chain of 7-6 suspensions, like that. So we have 4-3, we have 7-6. Another common suspension is 2-3. Now if you notice in this one, 4 steps down, becoming 3, 7 steps down, becoming 6, it's a lower number, 2 steps down, becoming 3, which is a larger number. This means that the suspension is in a lower voice. So let's go here. Here are parallel thirds. If I delayed the upper voice and did the suspension in the upper voice, that would be 4-3 suspension. But now I'm going to delay the lower voice. Oops. C going to B. And this A to G, I'm going to delay by one beat. And that gives us a 2 going to a 3. That is suspension in the lower voice. It's a displacement of parallel thirds. The lower voice is displaced, creating a 2-3 suspension. This could continue 3, 3, 3. And here, this would go to A. The G would tie across the bar line, becoming a 2, which would then resolve down, becoming a 3. A chain of parallel 2-3 suspensions. The last suspension I want to mention is not as common as these, and it's the 9-8 suspension. 9-8 would never be chained together because underlying it would be parallel octaves. This was generated by the displacement of a third, and we could chain them together because it's coming from parallel thirds. This came from parallel sixths, this came from parallel thirds. A chain of this would come from parallel octaves, therefore you will not chain 9-8 suspensions together. But imagine we are in the key of G, and we're coming to a 5-1 at the end, and the tenor goes A to G. Those are two of the voices of a 4-voice progression. If we took this voice right here and delayed it, this is what we would get. I'm going to sustain this A across the bar line. And now this is a 9. It's a dissonance resolving down to an 8. I would suggest you take a moment to write parallel 6 and then convert them into a 7-6 chain. Parallel thirds, convert them into a 2-3 chain, and then try to write a 9-8 suspension. I will also post a sound recording. First on the recording will be parallel 6, 7-6 chain, parallel thirds, 2-3 chain, and then this example right here.